Released to the world back in 1984, this boxing arcade game from Nintendo wasn't afraid to kick your ass and take your quarters while they were at it. Punch-Out was tough and difficult to master, but when you finally got through a match, you felt like a true hero. The series has had multiple games, and although you don't hear about it much, Punch-Out has continued to live on in our hearts, even to this day, making his terrifying debut in the very first game in the series. Today on Character Potential, we'll be taking a look at Mr. Sandman.
Mr. Sandman.
Wrong Sandman theme. Just a secco, and boom. The WVBA World Champion Mr. Sandman is a 6.5 foot, 312 pound walking punch-out machine. All pun intended. Not to mention, he is fast, hits hard, and is a fighting champion. Now, if you were good enough to reach Mr. Sandman and defeat him, you are a legend, or at least that was the story when we were kids. Although he's not the most popular guy, he still has multiple appearances in the franchise and people remember him. You're probably wondering, hey Pleb, why not King Hippo? He's way more iconic. And while that may be true to a degree, I do believe that King Hippo would make for a killer boss fight in the same vein as Dracula and the Rathalos, therefore I went with Mr. Sandman. Let's head over to the ability page and see what this monster can do. As usual, the ratings are based on a 1 to 9 scale in reference to the Max Smash AI. Power. This is a rating of how much base damage he'll do compared to other fighters. Remember that part where I said 6'5", 312 pounds? Yeah. Mr. Sandman can hit you like a train and do it quickly. Sandman is 9 for 9 in power. Speed. Speed determines how fast a character can move. That means walking and running animation, swimming and if it returns, dodge roll, edge roll, and more. Mr. Sandman isn't Sonic the Hedgehog by any means, but he can still hit you faster than you can blink. He's nimble and smart on his feet. Sandman would be a 6 out of 9 in speed. Technique. This stat defines how much of a learning curve the moveset would be. Mr. Sandman isn't about the flips and flashy moves, he's just going to give you a beating and fast. His moveset, while not simple, isn't the toughest to learn, but it'll be hard to strategize against other fighters. He does a lot of damage in minimal strikes. Sandman would be a 7 out of 9. Jump. Jump is a rating of how high a character jumps, how many jumps he gets, or how good the recovery is. Sandman suffers from the same problem that Little Mac does, and that's air game. He can do a lot of damage, but it'll be tough to get back onto the stage. Stay grounded and punch opponents that rush you. Sandman would be a 2 out of 9. Weight. Weight determines how light or heavy a character is. It also plays a part in fall speed and the float and jumps. Being a 7 out of 9, Sandman would be one of the heaviest characters in the game, making it hard to smash him off the stage. His jumps do not float and his fall speed is fast. He falls like a brick, which is what those muscles are made of. For the Neutral B Special, hold the button to charge a single Dreamland Express uppercut. After it reaches a certain point, the attack will automatically launch similar to Little Mac's Straight Lunge. It is extremely powerful, but it leaves you open, so plan accordingly. The Forward B Special would be a modified version of Mac's Jolt Haymaker. I would call it the Sandstorm. Mr. Sandman would leap forward, covering a bit of distance horizontally and reaching out for an opponent. If he misses, he'll be left open in an unrecoverable state, which could lead to an early doom similar to Mac. If he catches an opponent, he does a brutal knockout punch that sends him flying. You could say it's almost like a command grab. This would also be one of his best recovery options, but you have to time it right. For the Up B Special, the Sandman does a leaping uppercut that spins. Instead of straight up like Mac, it projects slightly to the left or right. The attack's damage is average and knockback high. It isn't super viable as a recovery, but as an attack, it's solid. Sandman needs to stay grounded. The Down B Special would be a counter. Sandman would say, "Afraid," taunting the opponent to strike. If they attack during this taunt, Sandman would yell "Boo!" which would knock the opponent back, leaving him open for follow-up attacks. For Sandman's neutral A combo, he would do a single left jab, followed by a right jab and a small uppercut. Slow, but high damage and average knockback. For the forward A tilt, Sandman would let out a clubbing strike downward towards the ground. This attack starts slow, but it comes out fast, so catch the opponent off guard and crush their dreams. For Mr. Sandman's up A tilt, he would do a rising punch forward. This attack is quick and not super powerful. The down A tilt would be a crouching gut punch. While the attack isn't very powerful, it can be hit multiple times in succession, making it great for building up damage. For the aerial versions, the neutral air would be a double jab, average damage and knockback. It will hit twice. The forward air would be a downward club, same as its grounded counterpart. For the up air, Sandman would do the rising punch, again, same as the grounded version. The down air would be a pushing kick that does minor damage but high knockback, great for spacing out opponents that are trying to get to you while you're mid-air. For the back air, Mr. Sandman would do a spinning right hook that has a falcon knee style sweet spot. The attack is extremely powerful and can KO easily. Time it well and watch your opponents go to sleep. For the forward smash, Sandman would pull back, say night night, and throw a destructive left cross, high damage and knockback. The attack has a bit of startup lag, so similar to playing Punch Out, time your attacks or suffer the consequences. For the up smash, Sandman draws back and lets out a massive uppercut straight up. This attack is very powerful and fast, so don't catch yourself right above him. For the down smash, Mr. Sandman would slam both gloves on the ground, causing a shockwave to blast out. This would do average damage and high knockback. For the final smash, Mr. Sandman charges up and throws a big punch. If an opponent is caught, a cinematic cutscene triggers and Sandman lays into the opponent with full power Dreamland Express, baby. A triple uppercut leaving them stunned. Mr. Sandman then winds up and unleashes one last fourth Express uppercut into the air, blasting them into the sky for a KO. The final smash would end with Sandman looking at the camera and laughing, saying, "Good night." As far as the stage goes, Mr. Sandman would be covered with the Punch-Out Arena. Although in the Punch-Out Arena, Sandman's moniker would say the WVBA World Champion, a throwback to his debut appearance when he was the top dog. And to me, you still are, baby, you still are. Mr. Sandman would have 3 taunts. 1. Sandman says bedtime and mimics a sleeping person putting his hands together. 2. Sandman cracks his neck and knocks his gloves together menacingly. 3. Sandman does a quick shuffle and throws a couple punches. For Sandman's victory animation, he would laugh towards the camera and say, "Welcome to Dreamland, baby." For his victory theme, Sandman would share the same theme as Little Mac. Take a listen. Last but not least, I'm going to introduce a new section for character potential. I'm going to be doing alternate colors for characters. 1. This is going to be his Punch-Out Wii appearance. Yellow trunks, green gloves, black boots. 2. Title defense. This is from the Wii version when he's defending the title. Black trunks, black gloves, black boots. NES. This is his NES sprite. White trunks, orange gloves, black boots. The Super NES. This is from Super Punch-Out. Yellow trunks, green gloves, green boots. Little Mac. This is a representation of Little Mac's outfit. Green trunks, green gloves, black boots. Glass Joe. White trunks, red gloves, red boots. King Hippo. Orange trunks, pink gloves, black boots. And Arcade. This is based off the original Punch-Out arcade sprite, which would be white trunks, yellow gloves, yellow boots. And there you have it, guys. Another episode of Character Potential done. Sandman was one of those characters that, like, I was always afraid of because I was terrible at Punch-Out and he was so menacing that, you know, I just got destroyed every time. And then, of course, over time, they tweaked Sandman a little bit, and he was a little bit easier in the SNES version, but in Punch-Out Wii, he was a pretty fun fight, and he definitely makes for an interesting character. Do I believe that he'll actually make it? I would give him, like, I don't know, I'd say, like, maybe like a 3 out of 10. Not that I don't think he's an important character and an important person in Nintendo's history. I just don't know if he is what Sakurai will be looking for as far as this being the ultimate experience. Not to say that I don't think he deserves it, not to say that I don't want him. I just, who knows what this man is thinking. It's been pretty tough to predict and stay on track with what Sakurai does. He's so all over the place all the time. But anyways, if you have a request for Character Potential, I am like 10 requests deep right now and working to try and catch up. But yeah, if you have a request, just let me know below in the comments, and I will do my best to work with you. And just let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about it. You know, give me some of your ideas if you have any. And just be sure to check me out on Facebook and Twitter at PlebTrev. And, you know, I just post random goodness and I talk about my day-to-day stuff. And as always, guys, this is your Pleb. This is Trev, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are the best. Bye.